Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, in Christ Radio. We're your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television. We are syndicated. So you can find us on channel 182 on Charter Communications, which is in North Alabama, and then worldwide on Abundant TV, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Again, thank you so much for watching. We just had our mayor of Geraldine, Alabama on the show with us just a few minutes ago. We're learning all kinds of things that are happening in this area. I have Bruce Sechrest with me right now. How are you doing, Bruce?
I'm doing very well. I hope you are.
I'm doing very well. Very excited to talk to you. We have a mutual friend, Paula, and she's just a neat lady. So I appreciate her putting us together. I absolutely do. So let's talk about your music career. How did you get started in music?
A long time ago, my mom and dad, my dad was a pastor, and of course my mom played the piano, and we didn't have a lot of money at the time, and so my dad found a piano that had been in a fire, and he took the piano and turned it inside out, where the charred part was on the inside and the regular part that hadn't burned was on the outside. And it didn't have a sustain pedal on the bottom of the piano. He tied a spoon piano. And my mama set me on her lap, and we played on that piano. She could only play the black notes. And so she taught me how to sing, sitting on her lap with the black notes on the piano. And
wow.
that's where it started, long time ago.
That's awesome. So do you play by ear or by note?
Both. I don't play the piano. I barely can tune the radio, but I sing, and I read music, and I play a little bit of electric bass guitar. But for the most part, I know people that can do it a lot better than me. So that's what we do, is we just hire it all done. Mm-hmm. And so go into the studio and find some of the best people we can find to do our projects.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely great. I love the story about your mom. I think that's pretty cool. So, I play piano too. I play by ear.
Right.
And we have something else in common. I'm a PK too.
Is that right? Lord have mercy. I know something special about you. You're going to make me turn.
And I'm married a PK. I married one too.
double trouble. What they say about PKs is that they stay in so much trouble and everything because they play with
the deacon's kids.
So,
yeah,
that's right. We all get together. It's no telling what's liable to happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. So where did you grow up?
I was born in High Point, North Carolina, and I was
North Carolina.
High Point, and so that's right in the middle of Guilford County, and so I was raised there and stayed there most of my life. I've been in Nashville, Tennessee, for about 25 years, so I lived just south of the city, but I was raised in High Point and stayed there for all my life and learned about music and that kind of stuff there.
Mm-hmm. I love North Carolina. Phil and my husband and I lived there several years in Charlotte, North Carolina.
My office just recently, I sold out my regular business in North Carolina, and I was in Statesville, so that was right near Charlotte. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so get a chance to run in there every once in a while. That's a fast growing city right there.
Mm-hmm. It is. All of North Carolina is. It's a good area. Yeah. My son lives in Creedmoor. If you listen to my traffic report, sometimes I will mention, and in Creedmoor, North Carolina, the mule capital of the world. It is the mule capital of the world. All is clear.
I don't know. Columbia, Tennessee might argue.
Oh yeah, we're the mule capital too.
In there, but I know where it's near. Yeah, they have the big mule festival in Columbia, and But and I've always thought that that Creedmoor should be the mule capital, but Tennessee's got their little corner on things too. It's kind of like barbecue.
Uh-huh.
Lexington has the best barbecue in North Carolina. I don't care what anybody says. So you need barbecue, you go to Lexington, and I guess Creedmoor. Isn't it right outside of Raleigh?
Yeah. It's on 85. It's
Yeah.
heading towards Oxford, North Carolina.
Yeah. You don't need to go there just to ride by there. You have to go there to go there. That's for sure. Yeah, because it's just a little spot, but it's a great spot.
I've noticed something, and that's in North Carolina and Alabama seem to have the best singers. Something about that. American Idol, I don't watch it anymore, but it's gotten pretty political. But I used to watch it every single season and always up in the top 10. You would see several folks from North Carolina and several folks from Alabama.
Well, that's true. There's a little something different in the water in North Carolina, and I'll just have to tell you that's just the truth. Where I have my music produced is in Arden, North Carolina, which is right up in the mountains of near Asheville. They had. I'm living just right here in Nashville, and we've got every kind of music person in this. There's just something different about people from North Carolina. There's something in the water that's different there, and they sing different. And if you don't believe me, you just sit there and listen just for a little bit. You'll get it.
That is true.
We used to have a woman that come to our church, and she was from the Nantahala Forest. And she would come up with her husband, and she would sing with another couple in our church. And her name was Shelby. And Shelby didn't read music. And she'd come into church, and the first thing she'd do, she'd take off her shoes. And they did what was called open throat singing, where they'd rear their head back and just sing from their toes. Yeah, and it was great. And she could play the piano. And I swear I believe she could play it with her feet and her toes and her hands all at the same time. And boy, we had a time. It was really a good time. But she was from the Nantahala Forest, and Arden, North Carolina is not too far from there. So when I decided to start making music, I guess what you call semi-professionally, I just knew I had to get the water from there. So that's where I go.
Well, that's a good place. How do you describe your music? What style are you?
Oh, my. I guess I'm just me. Somebody one time said I look like Burl Ives, and I guess that's maybe so a little bit. I don't know if I particularly sound like him. Then somebody said it was Elvis, and I said, Elvis who? And so I really don't have a person that I really kind of try to act like or talk like or whatever. It's just what you see, pretty much what you get. And I like to be able to say I could do a lot of different types of music. I've been involved in church work all my life, and there are some churches that are very liturgical, and they have to have their music a little different. What I call, I'm sorry, I'm gonna call it what it is. It's kind of sanitized, and then there's some churches that they'll do music and they kind of Jesusify it. They'll do music and then slap Jesus on the end of it, and I'm not so much about that. But and then there's people that really like the country style, and I kind of like that a little bit. I guess I like a little bit of it all. My last project, we had a full orchestra and we had a full choir, and so it was really big music. We only could do 6 songs, and I tell everybody they put me in the front of it to ugly it up enough to make it sound real. But like I say, singing with an orchestra is okay. I like that. Singing with a studio, bunch of boys and girls, and having banjos and steel guitar and fiddles and all that kind of stuff. I like that. And then I guess I'm still a child of the 70s. I like '70s music too.
Me
I
too.
think Dallas Holm and Chuck Girard and people like that, Andre Crouch. I like their kinds of music. Those are people who influenced me to actually step outside of the box and I guess kind of get it where my catalog of music is pretty broad. And so I'm more about brushing people with the gospel and using music to do that than I am trying to pride myself as a singer, because I don't. My wife gets on to me. She says, "Don't you get on there and talk about how bad you think you are." But she says that that I'm very unique and that I've got to protect my own kind of sound, and everybody seems to think that as well. But like I said, my thing is to communicate the gospel, and I use music to do it.
I think it's really important to be yourself. Jessica Muse was on American Idol, and she's from our neck of the woods out here, and she's been on the show several times. And so Jessica said, I just had a hard time being on American Idol. They didn't want me to be me. They were trying to package her to be a particular way. And she said, I can't do that. She said, I sing my style. They wanted her to dance, and she said, I'm not a dancer. I don't want to dance.
Right.
All I want to do is sing.
Well, Baptists, they don't believe in dancing much. So I'm sorry, I can't go on there. But now if I raise my hand, usually it's in a business meeting. So, so it's like, Baptist born, Baptist bred, I guess be Baptist dead. I tell people the reason why I'm a Baptist because I'll put up with anything.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
Yeah. So I really kind of try to stay in that lane, and but trying to change. I'm just too old. I'm just what I am, and whenever you hear me, I try to be just as real can get. Somebody will walk up and say, I can't wait to hardly hear you sing today. And I said, well, I can't hardly wait to hear me either, because I have no idea how it's going to come out. I pray for myself that I can continue to remember all those lyrics and the chord changes and try to keep up. But so far, enough for an old man, I guess I'm all right. So I'm doing okay.
I think you're really good. We're going to have to go into a commercial break. Can you believe half the show has already gone?
Not really. I'm serious.
Absolutely.
I can't believe that. Yes. Okay.
So let's go into a commercial break, and we're going to be right back in just a few minutes. So you hang in there, okay?
All right.
The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park, and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors, and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018. The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462. at Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020. We're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Begin a great year and save big money with these specials at Albertville Foodland Plus. A 5-pound bag of red or gold potatoes, only $2.99 each. Warm up with Campbell's Chunky Soup, 2 for $4. Slim down with gold salads, only $2.99 each. And make sure to check out the deli with fresh veggies and tasty pork chops or hand-battered chicken fingers, only $5.99. Check us out on the web at shop.foodlandgrocery.com.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community
My name is Donna
College.
Thiesel, and I am your host of The Edge on IC Radio. We are your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television 2 different ways. You can find us on Abundance TV, which is worldwide. We're syndicated there. We're found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. You can also find us on Channel 182, which is in North Alabama, so we appreciate that as well. You know, Bruce, you need to listen to this. You need to tell all your folks to listen to IC Radio and download the app. The website is icradio.media. And I wanted to say this about our radio station, then we'll get started talking with you again in just a minute. But our listeners are the boss of us, and our listeners tell us what to play. So we've got this worked out really with everybody. So you just go on the website and download the free app, IC Radio. You can find it on Apple or you can find it on Amazon as well. And you choose who we play. And one of our listeners, a longtime listener, said, well, Donna, honey, I don't want to do that to y'all and give you extra work to do. And I said, no, actually, we're kind of lazy. You're doing the work for us. If you choose the song, we'll air it. And then every Friday we do the 50 top favored that have been played. And so that's done by the listeners, not by us. And so all you've got to do is tell your friends, and then they go ahead and download the app, or they can go to the website and request a song, and that's how it's done. So that's the top 50 on Friday. So we have, this has been a really good interview, but I wanted to ask you a question. Because, we're in really weird times right now.
Sure.
We heard this growing up, you and I, from about the same time frame.
Right.
And so we heard this, that Jesus was going to come back just any minute. And I used to be afraid I wouldn't graduate from high school. I wouldn't get married. I wouldn't go to college. I wouldn't do all this stuff. You wouldn't have kids. Jesus would come back. But I really do believe it could be any time now. And I think people they're questioning where they're at in this form of life right now. And I think they're looking for answers. What would you like to tell the folks? What's the answer to all of this chaos?
Well, the Bible talks about it, that we're going to have that. And there's a lot of voices that are just everywhere. I mean, all you got to do is turn on Facebook or the TV, and everybody's trying to tell you, what they think. And the last thing I need to do at this age is turn into a philosopher. But I think the first thing that we need to do is to work on our relationship with God and Jesus Christ. And if we work on our relationship with him first, and we talk to him, I I think that little by little, he's going to work the rest of it out for us. If we just talk to him, if we get close to him and listen to what he's got to say, not only talk to him, but you got to listen too. And he'll tell you. There's only one Holy Spirit, and he'll sit right on your shoulder, and he'll whisper in your ear. And that's just like he did me when I was 5 years old, and he's been with me ever since. That's been 60 some years. And working with all kinds of preachers and all kinds of churches and all that, like I said, what I've come away with is if you'll start with that relationship first, just talk to him, and then he'll help you if you call out to him. He just will do it. I know it.
Do you feel like the whole idea is to divide everybody? Because we see this on, and I'm part of, the the television world, but it appears like almost every talk show, every news organization, everybody, it's like they're out there to divide us and keep us separated from each other.
Well, that may be true, and there's probably a purpose for that. God's got his purposes for everything under the sun. There is nothing new to him. And there's been a time not too long ago, I was going through a really terrible time, and I was trying to pray to God at night to help me forget some of this thing that that was bothering me so bad. And slowly but surely, he was helping me forget. And then all of a sudden, I realized that I was forgetting other things besides what I asked him to forget. And I said, well, God, I can't take this. Don't take this stuff that I don't want to forget. Just only take out the stuff I don't like. And he said, well, I've been wanting to talk to you about that. He said, if I do what you ask, how's that going to work between me and you? Are you still going to come to me if I help you? And so out of the confusion and the chaos, out of all the division and all of that, he's still there, and he's still with his arms open wide, wanting us to talk to him. And I think it's just okay. Whatever you want to do, you just do the best you can as far as trying to keep it all separated. But God's got you back. He's got you. All you got to do is go to him. I don't care how confused you get. Just go to him. He's got you.
What do you say to people who are hurting right now? And I know you just mentioned it, but what can people do though? Because and everybody's looking for this magic book somewhere. What's the magic book?
Hurt's part of life. It just is. Everything has a purpose. We don't understand what it is. The hurt is part of it. And if we have come here for our human experience, if we signed up in heaven to come here for our human experience, I think that helps make sense of maybe some of it that's happening, because I'm having mine. I don't know about you, but I'm having my human experience. And I believe take that with God. God's going to dry the tears from my eyes as I sit down and I tell him all about of life, because that's why we've come here. So hurting is just part of it. Hurting is part of his plan. Loving is part of his plan. It's all part of his plan. And we don't know why we're here other than just to have that human experience. I'm a spiritual being, and I'm going to live forever. And when I get to heaven, I'm going to tell God all about it.
Are you also a songwriter? Are you a songwriter?
No, I'm probably just more of a talker. Trying to write songs. I've listened to people that could write all kinds of music. And I've never really kind of sit down and tried to do that. But if I could just tell the story of Jesus and his love, Gloria Gaither said it the best. She says, find the most powerful lyrics that you could find, the sweetest melody that you could find, and then just sing that all your heart. And there's plenty out there to draw from if you'll just go up for it. It's there.
Are you noticing now when you're out and you're singing, we had this thing, I'm sure you heard of it. It's called COVID,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
I think it was meant for harm. But what I've noticed, I'll just have to tell you what I've noticed coming out of it. I think people are tired of that shutdowns and stuff like that. They want to live life because we're touchy feely. I mean, we're humans. We hug necks. We do all this kind of, it's just wonderful, glorious stuff. We like to be together. So how are the crowds? How are they adjusting? Do you think that has been taken away, or do you think we're just going at it now with full force to make up for past time?
It's probably all of that. You've got some that are still, hiding in the house, and you have some people that, still have to have masks, and there's still hospitals that still need the mask. We're all supposed to be careful about whatever it is that we do and have some common sense. And there's a way more ways to leave this world besides COVID. There's a way more things that can go wrong with you besides that. And so after a while, you just have to say, let it come. Come on. I'm not going to live forever and be this old guy that just gets out there and gets in a crowd, and I don't worry about it. I just depend on God till he's ready to take me. And when he's ready to take me, he's going to take me. And I like to think I'm in control, but I'm really not. I've had COVID a couple of times and got over it and still singing. I've got friends of mine that are not. And so it just depends on what the Lord has for you. And it's kind of like this old boy that was doing evangelistical work, and his buddy come over and says, why don't you go work out with me? And he says, I ain't doing it. Why are you not doing it? Well, he says, the Bible says the hairs on my head are numbered. And I figure that my breaths are numbered too. And I'm not using them up no faster than I need to. So I ain't going to go work out. I'm just going to be okay. Undertaker tells me he buries 10 times as many skinny people as he does big ones. So I just made all that up. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. About a little bit over a minute left in this segment, about a minute and a half. How can folks find your music and more information about you?
Bruce Sechrest, SECHREST.com.
There you go.
Go there. I've got a 94-page website. You can go hear music and stories and videos and just read all about it. It's right there.
And that's the same way they can get in contact with you
Yes.
to get you to come and sing for them. Now, how far out do you travel? See, we go to Cowboy Church in Alabama. They'll sing you to death over there.
I suspect so. Now, I'm not sure how far the horse wants to ride, but as long as I can feed him and get him over there, that's okay. God opens doors everywhere, and I'm okay. Just whatever God wants to do with me, with what's left, that's just fine. I'm all right. So if I don't charge for what I do, and I just love doing what I'm doing, and I want to tell people about the good Lord.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being on the show today. Can you believe it? We're done.
Wow.
It goes by super fast. I'll let
It
you know
does.
when it airs, and we'll send you a link to it as well. But thank you so much for being on the show today. It's been awesome.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Absolutely. And
Okay.
thank you for watching. We have the absolute best watchers and listeners. No, you could be doing anything else, but you're watching us right now, and we definitely appreciate that. You hang around. We're going to have another awesome guest coming up in just a few minutes. Bye.